everybody, Fiber Spider back again in the kitchen. Recently we did a video on tea eggs and I thought, you know what, let's try pickled eggs. And not just pickled eggs, but jalapeno pepper pickled eggs. I thought that that would be totally up my alley because I love spice. Spice is nice, that's just how it is with me. Of course, there are 1,000,001 variations on pickled eggs, 1,000,001 variations on jalapeno pepper pickled eggs. Say that 5 times fast. So, you know what? We're going to give it a try today. This is a dry run, if you will. I mean, I've never tried this before. I'm not following a specific recipe. I'm following basic tenets and techniques of pickling. So, we're going to see what happens. Now, at the time that I'm filming this, and at the time that you're actually going to be watching this, about a week is going to elapse because, yes, you need to let them sit and, well, pickle. So, it's going to be a process, but I think it's going to be rather fun, and it looks really, really easy. Now, keeping in mind, I've never had pickled eggs before. As you know, if you've been watching, yes, we've had tea eggs. I've had scrambled eggs. I've had deviled eggs, but nope, I've never had pickled eggs before. So this is going to be fun. Anywho, so for this recipe that I'm concocting, yes, we are going to need hard-boiled eggs, which I'm going to be making about 6 Of course, you can alter this naturally. Some jalapeno peppers. Also going to be using some red onion and some cloves of garlic. Also, of course, you're going to need vinegar. Now, play around with the recipe. Try different things. I mean, I've seen people use apple cider vinegar, but I wanted to use the white distilled vinegar, so we're going to go with that. First things first, we need to start with our eggs, so let's get to it. Alrighty, so got my eggs right out of the fridge, covered them with some cold water, gonna set those on the stove, and go up to high. There we go. So, I'm going to bring those up to a boil, and then once they hit a rolling boil, then going to turn off the heat, leave them on the stove top, and let them sit there for about 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look that up, but yeah, about 10 minutes, I believe. I think it's 10 or 12. At any rate, after that, we are going to also start in prepping our filling in ingredients, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, a lot of choppy, but it doesn't have to be all neat and pretty because, well, it's really more of a flavoring agent, really. So I'm going to do a quick little bit of rechecking on my time calculations, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so my eggs still haven't boiled yet, but I figure while that's doing its thing, and yes, it will be for 10 minutes after the boiling, I'm going to start with prepping up some of our add-ins. So I've got some jalapeno peppers. I figure about 2 will be fine for the number of eggs that we're doing. I don't know, I might burn my face off, we'll find out. I also have little red onion here, and a bunch of cloves of garlic. So we need to do a little bit of prep work, nothing major. And so we're just going to get into this. And I don't know about you, but when I am prepping onions, I always end up not just taking off the skin, but like the first layer of the onion. Do you do the same thing? I always take off that outer layer, not just, you know, the papery skin, because, I don't know, there's just something sometimes funky about onions that I would just rather make sure that there's nothing oozy or weird on the outside. I don't know. So I'm just going to chop this up, I don't know, relatively coarsely, I suppose. and make sure that the layers are separated so that the flavor really screams out. I do love red onion. Like I said, this does not have to be a neat and pretty sort of thing, because I'm not actually going to be eating the red onion. No, we're just utilizing this as a flavor. There we go. And then figure we can break this up into its layers. Not entirely, but at least somewhat. And then we will attack the garlic. Now, the pepper I'm going to be doing last because I totally have to wash my hands after handling that, because, yes, I've heard plenty of horror stories of people rubbing their faces, rubbing their eyes. If I had gloves, if I had rubber gloves to be using, I would. But I don't at the moment. But that is okay. That I do this for you. For science. Okay, that is a lot of onion. My goodness. Okay. So now, isn't that pretty? I love the color of red onion. I do. Alright, so let us get our cloves of garlic ready. I don't think that I'm going to actually cut these up, maybe even more roughly than I did the onion. Maybe I'll just give them a smack, you know, crack them a bit. Actually, at one point, I used to eat raw garlic in its clove form. Now, I've heard many, many different things and opinions about the health benefits of raw garlic. And at one point, actually, I was a vegetarian many, many moons ago. It was after, you know, fun kind of story. There was a book called The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. Really good book, but very traumatizing. If you enjoy eating meat, don't read it. In a nutshell, it was about the meat packing industry of, I believe it was Chicago, before the FDA was begun. Yeah, it's a bit of a horror story, but I digress. At any rate, yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is, instead of just throwing them in like this, I think I'm going to, with the flat of the blade, give it a little smack so that they're cracked and that the oils can come out, and then add those to my onions. You know, just give them a slight bash. There we go. Going all natural here. Now, almost at a boil. We're almost there. So, you know what? Let me just start off getting rid of you and getting rid of you. Now, you know what? I'm thinking because I'm not actually going to be eating the pepper. I'm just going to be using the pepper as a flavoring. You know what? Let's just go crazy. And instead of removing the center, let's just leave everything in this time and see what happens. So I'm just going to cut this up. Okay, and yep, oh, we are reaching a boiling state here. That we are. Not quite there, but we're just about there. Whoop, they want to get away from me. Okay, yes, we have officially reached a rolling boil state, so I'm going to turn this off. And it's more or less there. Just give me one more minute with that. And then we have all of our leftovers here. Okay, oh, it's totally going now. All right, so let me turn this off, cover this up, and set my timer, yes, for 10 minutes. Perfect, okay. So, the timer has been set. Gonna wait for 10 minutes. I got this all prepped and ready to go, so I'll see you in a bit. All right, so it's been 10 minutes after I turned off the heat, put the cover on, and just let them sit there. It's been 10 minutes, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them over to the sink and run cold water over them until they are nice and cooled down. Then I'm going to peel all of them, and I'm gonna spare you that agony. I'm gonna spare you that process. And then I will be right back and we will fill up our jar. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so all of my little eggs are peeled and ready to go because they are just so appealing. And I have, this is a quart mason jar because I wanted plenty of room. Now, granted, I'm sure that I can fit more than just half a dozen eggs in here with my filling ingredients, but I don't even know if this is going to work out. So I'm only doing half a dozen, just like when I did the tea eggs. I'm like, am I going to like this? Am I not going to like this? Is this going to be a hot mess? We will find out. So what I'm going to do is going to sort of layer things a bit. I mean, granted, once the liquid is in there, I'm sure I can sloosh things around a bit. But, you know, so, oh, by the way, the jar, I did sterilize the jar and the lid in the oven at 275 for about 20 minutes. There you go. So, plopping in some ingredients. And then once all of our ingredients are in there, then we will deal with the liquid. So this is really just a bit of randomness here. Just throw things in. Definitely want to get all of the garlic and the peppers in there. The onion is a little less important because I've got so much of it, but definitely the peppers and the garlic. Oh, looks like I estimated fairly well, actually. So let us fill up the rest of the space. Get that garlic in there, definitely. Okay, did not judge that too poorly. Looks really pretty, don't you think? Yeah, I like. All right, so now I only have a little bit of red onion left over. So yes, I am now going to wash my hands, and then we will deal with the liquid. And before we do the liquids, going to add just a little bit of kosher salt. Do I know if this is absolutely integral and important? No, I don't, but I did see it done, so I figured, you know what, let's try that. So I've got a half of a teaspoon and getting there. Another half of a teaspoon. I like kosher salt. Okay, give it a little shimmy shake. All right, so gonna start off with the vinegar and then add water. I've seen where people use a 1-to-1 ratio. I've seen where people just use vinegar. So I was thinking mostly vinegar, but a little bit of water to dilute. So let's start off with a cup of vinegar. By the way, like I said, this is distilled white vinegar. So this will be a cup. Let's see how this works. Granted, this jar is really full. Okay, that filled it almost completely. So, you know what? Let's just do the rest, because I mean, it filled it up to about here already. So let's just do the rest with water to dilute that just a little bit. Covering up all of our solids. Now, I'm not going to be doing the actual canning process where I then stick this in a water bath and make sure it has the pop, because I'm just going to be storing these in the fridge. Now, as far as what is safe and what is not safe for a shelf-safe item, I've heard very mixed opinions on doing pickled eggs. So, especially because it is a protein, it's not a vegetable, you know, so I'm going to keep these in the fridge. All right. So I think we are all good. So I'm going to just pop this on here. Make sure it's on there nice and tightly. Yes, tightly is good. Give it a bit of a shake so that at least the salt gets dispersed. Voila! We have ourselves some would-be pickled eggs. They're not pickled yet, but they will get there. So I'm gonna let these sit in the fridge for a week, and when I come back, we will do the taste test. So hang tight and I will see you in a bit. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Okay, so it has been 1 week, in fact, just a little bit over 1 week since I made my jalapeno pickled eggs. Yes, I recorded this video on a Saturday, and it is the following Sunday. Not the next day, but you understand. And they have been sitting in my fridge, and I have been patiently waiting. And every now and then I would give the jar a bit of a tumble, you know, mix it up a little bit. And I noticed something very interesting, that the onions, the red onions, underwent a bit of a change. Look at the coloration, almost like a bleaching, if you will. I thought that was rather interesting. But the eggs themselves, they look fine. The jalapenos, of course, look fine. And you can also see the cloves of garlic in there as well. So we are going to give these a try. No idea what I'm getting myself into. And I did a wee bit of research. It's like, you know, because I've heard that they're rubbery. Well, if they're too rubbery, apparently you can increase the amount of water ratio. Also, of course, if you leave them pickling longer and longer, they will become more and more rubbery. That's sort of part of the nature of the beast. I don't know. We will find out. I've never had these before, store-bought or otherwise, so we'll give them a try. All right, now because I really put this on tightly, because I don't want to Okay, as I was going to say, because I don't want to just go in with my hands, I am going to spoon one of the eggs out. And thank goodness for little rubber grips because I could not get the jar open otherwise. I kind of overdid it, I think. At any rate. Oh, am I going to have trouble with this top now? Really? There we go. Okay. Now, like I said, I didn't do the whole water bath thing. Um, ooh, ooh, that smells really good. Yeah, because I didn't do the whole water bath thing. It didn't have like the normal pop thing going on. All right, now my eggs are really buried underneath all of these. I'll show you. That smells really, really good. Yeah, at the top is where a lot of my little goodies are hanging out. So this is going to be interesting to try to get in there. I'm going to try though. I'm just going to have to sacrifice some of my little num-nums. And you know what? Also, I want to try out some of the onions and the jalapenos to see how do they taste after they have been essentially fermented. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. The egg has taken on, I'm trying not to spill here. There we go. The egg has taken on a bit of a sort of a pinkish hue. It's kind of hard to discern on camera, but hang on. I'm trying to do this and not spill. There we go. Actually, it looks really pretty. It looks very, very, very pretty. Okay, so let me just do that and set you off to the side. Okay. So, you know what? First things first, I would actually like to test out a bit of onion, a bit of jalapeno, and I do have a nice crushed clove of garlic. I want to try those out first, okay? And then I want to get into the egg. I want to give, and of course my air decides to turn on right now. It's really hot today. Yeah, I want to give the other components a taste test first to see how they did in the pickling process. So let's start with the accoutrement first. Okay, so I turned off the air because it was too much of a distraction. All right, so let us try a little bit of onion first. I mean, I love eating raw red onion anyway, but a little piece of red onion. Now, as you can see, like I said, it had sort of a bleaching effect on the onion, which I think is interesting. Let's try it out. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's still got that crispy crunchiness. It does not taste like a normal red onion by any stretch. No. You definitely taste the vinegar, which is fine because I mean, I love salt and vinegar chips. A little bit of spice, a little bit of garlickiness. So I have a feeling that the veggies that we threw in, they're all going to essentially taste a bit vinegary, a bit spicy, you know, and a bit garlicky. That would be my offhand guess. All right, let us try a little jalapeno. Essentially the same. Yeah. Yep, it's got that kick. It still has that spicy kick. Ooh, right in the back of your mouth. Yeah. Um, got that nice vinegary flavor. I imagine that if you wanted to make you know, sort of like the pickled jalapenos that you find in the stores, you would probably have them fermenting for a lot longer, or maybe even cook them up a little bit first before brining them, in order to get them to that sort of soft state. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. At any rate, now I want to try a bit of garlic. Now, interestingly, it has taken on a bit of a pink hue in the middle. I mean, I love raw garlic, so. Mmm, that's nice, actually. That's nice. I like that. Um, it's not as hard as a raw little clove of garlic. You know, it has a little bit of crunch, but it's not like biting into an apple. Very flavorful, actually. Nice. Okay, now the moment that I have been waiting for. Let's try the egg. Now, wanted to give you a better close-up of said egg. As you can see, it has a bit of a pinkish, purplish sort of tinting to it, which I find fascinating. Science, who knew? And so I'm going to cut this little guy in half and see, did any of the color permeate the egg as well? I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, the inside looks absolutely fine and lovely. It does definitely feel a bit rubbery, which that's fine, you know. I mean, not every texture is for everybody, but as far as the inside, it looks fine. It does definitely feel fairly firm and hard. Again, fine. Now I wonder, could you make deviled eggs out of pickled eggs? It's a good question. I don't know. If you know in the comments section, let me know. All right, enough stalling. I know I'm being a big chicken, but bon appetit. Let's try it. Hmm, that's really interesting. It's very firm. I wouldn't say it's rubbery. When I think of rubbery food, I think of calamari. You know, um, I wouldn't say that this is rubbery. I would say it's firm. You know, hmm. I'm pleasantly surprised, actually. Yeah, it's definitely flavorful. Okay, I would say it's not spicy or garlicky. No, it's very flavorful though. Um, with the pickling process, it's basically like you know, being marinated essentially. I mean, when you marinate meat and then you cook it, it's not like you're eating, you know, 5 tablespoons of peppercorns. No, you get the flavoring of the peppercorns, but you're not actually eating them. Um, so I think this was a success, definitely. As far as the applications of pickled eggs, what would you use them in, you know, or with or for or whatever? I mean, I think that these would make an awesome snack, definitely. As far as how long you can keep them in the fridge, I've heard very mixed opinions and information on how long they will stay okay in your fridge. Anything from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. I only made 6, so these will be gone within the week, so I'm not overtly concerned about that. But it is something to research as also cross-reference because of course you are going to come across differing opinions depending on, you know, which source you read. So I would say take what you read with a grain of salt. Okay, no pun intended. I am delighted though. I think these are very tasty. They were very simple to make, and I could totally see making them again because they were that easy, definitely. So I have to have another bite, so if you'll excuse me. Very flavorful. I, 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 I can see that these are going to grow on me in a good way. Mm. I like. I'm very happy with myself. I am because I was afraid of trying anything, pickled, but it was the making of the tea eggs that gave me the confidence to try this, and I'm glad that I did. Now, speaking of jalapenos, um, I have been working on making jalapeno jam. I mean, I love spicy, but it is a sweet and spicy, and it's not overtly spicy, but that is something that I am working on for a future video. Also, another thing that I'm going to try to work on is perhaps some different flavors of jams. I'm thinking about perhaps an orange marmalade, just to give you the heads up. So, also I kind of want to make crackers to go with the jam and maybe thumbprint cookies. I've got ideas. If you guys have recipe ideas, let me know in the comments section down below. And, I'm always looking for inspiration, definitely. But I am really happy with these eggs. And yes, I am probably going to make them again and give them a try yourself because the recipe is very, very, very customizable. It's very simple. And the best part is that all the hard work is done. Okay, like I don't have to peel the eggs now. It's like, no, just take them out with a spoon because I don't want to like potentially, cross contaminate by putting my hands in there. Just take it out and enjoy. So listen, everybody, thank you so very much for watching today. I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below because you know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And until next time, you know what to do. I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay cooking and experimenting with new things in the kitchen. Stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great, great day. Bye-bye.